The Forest Gump of the internet. I don't know what's going on.
100%. That's the best way to describe it. And I was like, tell Gina we love her and we got her back. And she's like, what do you mean tell Gina this is Gina? I was like, yeah, right. I'm just Jay. No one's special. Right. I go into my kitchen. I see a loaf of bread. I stick my hand in there and I like grab a couple slices and ball it up and eat it. I get ready for this other live show. I'm going from 6,000 subs to 32,000 subscribers in a month. It started with a phone call. Mm-hmm. And it turned into what it is now, like this. And I can't believe that it's a graphic novel that's going to be released in January.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of the Icon Presents podcast. Today, I am joined by none other than podcaster, streamer, author extraordinaire, ladies and gentlemen, the Don himself. I'm joined by Drunk 3PM.
That's an intro. I love it.
There have been 1,000 terrors of the sea, born of myth and legend. But there's never been anything quite as dangerous as that man right there. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Jay. How you doing?
Well, I'm good. Sorry, I might be a little fidgety on the show because normally I sit like this. So it's
okay.
But then it's like I'm not facing you. So I'm trying to like turn
you got
this
your back
way.
turned to
so
me
we look
already,
a little professional, you know? So if you see me squirming or something, it's like, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Hey,
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for the invite, brother. Thanks for having me on.
No problem
I appreciate
at all.
it.
Thank you. This is going to be a fun one. I've never done a stream from my office or a podcast or recording from my office before, but I figured, since I have this set up, and I was like, hey, I got all the studio spaces booked up. I got studio A and B, but I finally have the opportunity to have the legend himself on the show. I got to take advantage of the opportunity. He said, when's it coming
on?
Right. Awesome, man. So this is, like I said, this is my, what we were talking before. This is my kind of opportunity to get to know you a little bit more, but also get to know the audience. I know you got some projects in the work. You've been doing some work with Rippaverse, and I'm loving exactly what you got going on. And you even had your own Rippaverse project come out. Parts of Saints and Sinners. I would love to just, go in on everything you got going on, but just for the audience who may not have been following you for the past like 3-4 years, like I have, give them a bit of an introduction.
I'm just Jay, man. No one's special. Started a YouTube channel like 6 years ago, was it? Kind of just talking about Star Wars of all things. Kind of took off and got linked up with Geeks and Gamers took me under their wing, I guess you'd say. And it's been a crazy adventure ever since. Dude, so from YouTube to traveling to conventions to writing graphic novels and all that stuff. It's been a crazy ride. I never thought in a million years I'd be here. I never thought I'd be on your show, man. So
hey,
look
man,
at this.
I appreciate
so
it.
If it did
I
anything,
never thought I'd have
I'm
a show
here.
for you to even be on, man. When I saw your first stream, I told you my introduction to you was I was watching a stream with Eric July, and he said he was going on a show called The Dark Council.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that about? So I went and I tuned into that show. And then after that, I ended up going through what was it called? Or I checked out, Fatal J was on there, Abu Nas was on
Shout
there,
out.
and all
my
of
good
them.
friends.
And then awesome. And then I saw Jay Drunk 3PO was on there. I was like, oh shoot. And then so I subscribe and I'm following everything like that. Your journey, I'm telling you, the Forest Gump of the internet. I don't know what's going on.
100%. That's the best way to describe it. 100.
It's absolutely
I
wild.
wear that with a badge of honor. 100%.
I'm like, dude, how in the world do you find yourself in these situations? So now my introduction to you. Now,
I don't even know.
my introduction was your Jay Walking the Planet, right? That was your channel. Give me a little bit, because you did a lot of I don't know if we would call it philanthropic work or however you even say that word, apparently, or like you were building schools and doing all that kind of stuff.
Humanitarian work, yeah,
exactly.
I don't know, man. It was in college, and I really liked this girl, and she all good stories start that way. I know, right? She was going on there was a trip to go help people in Africa. And the school was like paying for it and like taking was like a part of it. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. What the heck? I got nothing to lose. So went to Africa in Kenya, Nairobi. And that was like the first time like I ever saw like real poverty, maybe real poverty is not the right word, where I saw like, I saw things that I'm like, that's shocking, the way people were starving and things like that. I was like, my gosh, man, and it really had an impact on me, like tremendously. And I came back to the States and I did some I guess humanitarian work training or mission training or whatever you want to call it. And I was all set to go back to Africa for like 6 months and serve there.
Oh, wow.
And right before that, whenever that was going to happen, the earthquake happened in Haiti. And at the time I was living in Miami area. So the earthquake hit Haiti in January. Golly, what year was that? Anyway, and they were asking people who had this international, like this humanitarian training done to go. And I was like, I don't want to go to that country. I'm all set on going here, I was all set. But it was like God had other plans. So sure enough, here I am, and from Miami, it's like an hour flight into Haiti. So I went to Haiti and I ended up staying for several years and working there several years. And long story short, not to drag any of that out, but it making connection with different humanitarian aid agencies. They would reach out and basically they were like, Jay, you know how to lead, you know how to take people to places we don't want to go. Would you like to take people to, Cambodia? Would you like to take people to China? Would you like to take? So it took me on this crazy journey for several years where I was leading like doctor teams into different countries around the world. And the Jaywalking the Planet channel was just like documentary, like just little documentaries of my travels here and there, and doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, when that all came to an end, I ended up starting a YouTube channel. So
that's wild. That's a wild journey to even start off, because let me ask you this, because you went from, doing that humanitarian work. And I know you saw a lot there, right? Like you said, that's your first time ever seeing and kind of witnessing actual poverty, going to an actual third world country and kind of seeing the struggles that they go through, right? In that area. Then you have your YouTube channel. Did that experience there kind of affect the way that you approach YouTube or anything like that?
Yes. So when I came back to the States to not do that type of work anymore, it was a really painful adjustment because it was, and I was dealing with like, I don't know, anger issues or something. 'Cause it's like for years when you see people that don't have access to water, then you come back to the States and people take a sip of water and they just throw it on the ground or like they throw it away. It's like, it was kind of a reverse shock to see that. So it was suggested to me to like just start doing some hobbies, man. Like just like get into a hobby, like occupy your time and to try to like get back into the normalcy of America. I guess you'd say it's kind of weird to say that. And so they said, like you like Star Wars, start a YouTube channel and talk about Star Wars. It'll be fun, you know? It's like, and then God gave me the gift of Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars, and just she totally destroyed that franchise. Anybody that was talking about Star Wars at the time,
you know what?
Channel kind of exploded on that end.
Right.
I think I was really lucky with YouTube. Actually, luck had a lot to do with it because I lived in Orlando when I started that, and I was like right next door to, they were building at the time Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars theme park. And so some friends of mine were working at that park and they were shooting me information as to what's going on. So I was able to like make videos on like, hey, you never guessed the rumor that I heard. And
you got the exclusive.
But my channel was so small that people thought I was just making up crap, right?
Oh, okay.
They're like, this man's just making, and so it caught the attention of some local like publications, nothing big, but you know, like comic book news and other things like that. So one of the publications, like the editor there, like went and attacked me on Twitter because they're just saying I was making stuff up.
Okay.
You know, because the one thing that I remember was I reported that Galaxy's Edge will not have Luke, Leia, C-3PO, things like that, like the original trilogy. And that struck a nerve with a lot of Star Wars fans. They're like, there's no way. Why do you make a Star Wars land and not have them? This guy's an idiot. He's stupid. He's this, he's that. So I'm like, holy crap, man, I'm getting trashed. And that's what caught the eye of Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. And he's like, who is this guy? And how does he, like, what is going on? And so that's how he reached out, and like the rest is history. And I was right on absolutely everything. And then like so my channel went through some phases. So then like after the Galaxy's Edge thing opened, they announced the Star Wars Hotel. So the Star Wars Hotel just kind of, you know, again, I had people that worked there. They were giving me stuff. So like it launched my channel, and now I don't want to talk about Star Wars whatsoever.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a rough thing to deal with when you watch a franchise that you love and it just gets absolutely demolished and becomes something that you don't even recognize, to the point where it brings you more pain than pleasure to talk about it. Like, dude, I had to go pick up my daughter from school the other day, right? So I had to leave the office. I came back and my guy tells me, he was like, yo, guess who just came by? And he was like, and he pulls up on his phone. Freaking Kelly Marie Tran.
Oh, nice. Rose Tico.
Pops up. Yeah. And so then I was like, oh, dang, really? She was like, yeah, just going by. She was here with I think her dad or whatever like that. They were handling something, and then they dipped out. So I was like, okay, cool. That's what's up. Now, of course, my next customer or person I was working with, I ended up talking to her, and I was like, yo, if she happened to be Asian, and I was like, hey, you know who showed up today? And I was like, and I promise you, I'm not pointing this out just because you're Asian. But Kelly Marie Tran, she was like, I'm pretty sure you're just saying that because I'm Asian. I was like, might be just a little bit. But it was one of those things where me and him were talking about it. And I was like, if I had the opportunity to talk to her, I don't have much positive things to say. It would have been just like, it's not like I would say, oh, I really enjoyed you in The Force Awakens or anything like that. I didn't enjoy you in anything. Like, I didn't enjoy none of the things that you were a part of, unfortunately. And that's what tarnished the like, for me, I'm a fan of, I was almost about to say, I had to catch myself. I was about to say, I love all Star Wars. No, That's not the case. The who was the what was that? That wasn't Kathleen Kennedy who said that when they asked who was her favorite Star Wars. I think that was and she was like, I just love Star Wars. I would just want to live in the
Leslie
universe.
Headland, you talking about?
Leslie, yeah. But no, I was a big fan of the prequels. They were like that was my childhood, so I absolutely loved them. I had the pajamas and everything of like Anakin and Obi-Wan's fight and all that. I just absolutely loved it. But it's just one of those things that's so sad to see die. But on the topic of Star Wars and going through this journey that you had, all of a sudden we're watching Mandalorian. We're watching the Mandalorian. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there and I see that Disney is making statements about the illustrious Gina Carano. And next thing you know, it's like now somehow you get tied into this whole thing with her.
Yeah.
How does the guy that was going to Kenya and going to all that start a YouTube channel by recommendation of somebody else find themselves now having a connection with Gina Carano?
I still don't understand how all that worked. All I know is when she was going through the cancellation mob for not putting pronouns in her bio, me and 100 other people, maybe more, made videos defending her, and she saw mine. And mine probably at the time, my YouTube channel was like at 6,000 subscribers. Wasn't very, you know. And she saw mine, and all of a sudden she follows me on Twitter. Okay. And I made a video about that. And I know she saw that one too. I was like, holy crap, look who followed me on Twitter. I mean, anything. And back in those days of growing YouTube, it was made a video on anything you can, you know, that's just kind of related to the topic. Usually if you have a subject matter that goes like doing it on the Star Cruiser and people watch it, YouTube is basically telling you keep making more videos on this certain subject. Right. And we'll keep pushing it out so your channel will grow. So that was, we were making videos about Gina being canceled and stuff, and they were very popular. So it's like any small little Gina Carano news, like ridiculous as it is, that she liked a post or somebody else went after her. It's like you made a video on it and, you know, people subscribed. So after, I think season 2 was over. Yeah, so I got a DM from the Gina Carano Twitter account, thinking 100% it was like from a PR person saying, thank you for sticking up and always having my back. And I was like, tell Gina we love her and we got her back. And she's like, what do you mean tell Gina this is Gina? I was like, yeah, right. I'm just Jay. No one's special. Right. Got a $50 webcam, $75 microphone at the time. Like nothing special. Like who the heck? Why would Gina Carano be in my DMs talking to me? So we went back and forth till I think she ended up sending me a picture of her dog or like a little 10-second video recording of her holding her dog. It's like, Jay, it's really me. Like something like that. I was like, holy crap. So I was like, wild, that's cool. And then she's like, you know, maybe one day I'll come on your YouTube channel. I was like, sure, that'll never happen. Celebrities don't do that. So, but that was nice of you to say. So this is the craziest thing. At the time, Star Wars Theory and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers were butting heads, like on YouTube and online. Okay. And so I was like, what if you guys got together and talked and just cleared the air? And I honestly, I don't remember who initiated. I think it was Star Wars Theory initiated the conversation. So then Jeremy was just like, we'll just do it on your show. Like nonchalantly, we'll just do it on your show, Jay. It'll be cool. It'll be good for your channel. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. So I emailed Theory. I emailed talked to Jeremy, and it was like, yeah, we'll do it on this day. I don't know what day it was, like a Thursday, random Thursday at like 7. I set the stream up. Guys, understand, I have like 6,000 subscribers at the time. And I set it up. Didn't think anything of it. I was like 2 days ahead. There was 6,000 people in my chat a day, sending super chats with questions a day before I was going to go live. And I'm like, bro, I'm used to having like 40 people, 20 people.
Right.
And I think that's a great day, right? Like, that's amazing to me. I still find it crazy that people would like turn on to hear me talk about whatever. And so,
right. And send you money.
I know. God bless them, man. God bless them. And so I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, this is big. I better make sure I'm on everything. I go to the gym. It's 5 hours before showtime between Star Wars Theory and Jeremy. They're going to clear the air, and I'm like the mediator or whatever. And I'm nervous. I get a DM from Gina. Hey, I have some time today. Would you like to do that interview now? Bro, I'm at the freaking gym, dude. I'm at the gym. And what am I going to say? Now's not a good time.
Right.
No. I was like, absolutely. When can you be ready? I'll be ready in 15 minutes. Bro, I flew home. Didn't shower. Put on a G&G hoodie. I'm sweaty. I'm nasty. I'm like, hairs. I think I like just kind of quickly like washed my hair in the sink. And we did a Zoom call, and we did our first interview. And in that, like in those videos, it's funny. I could look back at them now. In those videos, you see me do this like several times. Jeremy is texting me crazy. What are you doing? I need to get a hold of you. Like, there's a show going on, da, da, da. And I'm in the middle of doing an interview with Gina Carano. I'm freaking out. I'm starstruck, whatever. We're talking about everything, you know, and I'm like, I'm busy. Like, give me 1 second. Jeremy's cussing me out, dude. I mean, he cusses everybody out. Cool. It means he loves you. It means she loves you. And so I'm like, so finally I'm like, Gina's like, okay, I think we're good here. I was like, thank you. End it. I got freaking 20 minutes before Star Wars Theory. I got 8,000. This is my biggest live stream in my ever said. Nothing's even come close. Got 8,000 plus people waiting in the chat. I'm like freaking out. I called Jeremy immediately. He's like, where the freak have you been? I was like, bro, you're not going to believe this. I just did an online interview with Gina Carano. He's like, what? I was like, I'm trying to clip one little thing out. And he's like, all right, you ready? I was like, I'm ready. Bro, I haven't eaten. I still look terrible. I probably stink up the house, you know? I go into my kitchen. I see a loaf of bread. I stick my hand in there and I like grab a couple slices and ball it up and eat it. I get ready for this other live stream. We're on 6,000 subs to 32,000 subscribers in a month.
Wow. That's wild.
It's insane, right? That was the biggest bump, I think. And then it was like, well, I did Theory and Jeremy. They worked that out. Then I did Gina Carano. And now I'm like, why would people keep watching? Why would people keep watching? And then God gives me the gift of the Galactic Star Cruiser, the Star Wars Hotel, and the rest is history.
It worked it all out for you, man. That's hilarious.
That's
wild, man. What a journey. What a journey. And so then you ended up going to cons and everything like that with Gina. That had to be pretty cool.
I got hired by the management team. So I had the opportunity of working with her and others and whatever the team needed me to do when we went to these different cons and stuff. So that was a kid's dream, man. That was a kid's dream. Being backstage and working with people that you have watched and admired, you know, and from movies and TV shows and all kinds of stuff, and just seeing who they really are, how they are in real life. And it was I tell everybody, I was like, one day when my contract is up, I'm going to pull a Charlie Murphy. I don't know if you know that, where Charlie Murphy used to do, God rest his soul, he passed away, on the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Real Hollywood Stories with Charlie Murphy. I was like, one day I'll be able to tell the tales of stuff that went happen backstage with some of these people.
That's the contract.
I was like, maybe we'll see, but it's like, I can't NDAs. I'm NDA up my face. So like, I can't.
I get it, man. Yeah, it's wild. You find yourself on these journeys. It's like when I started this show, and then like going from doing just random interviews and doing like, hey, just I want to just invite people to the show, to where like in my emails and everything, what I see from people who like are like, hey Antoine, can we be on your show? Can we do this? Can we do that? I got this book I want to promote. I got this comic I want to do this. They're like, how much do you charge for a comic review? I didn't even like that's not even a thing I do. But it's just like people are just reaching out. And then I had the wild idea one day. I was at at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was like, it'd be cool to do little con interviews. And I was at San Diego Comic-Con. I had I had purchased a little lav kit. I connected it to my phone, had my cousin hold the camera for me, and just started doing interviews. Met Steve Olive, who was like a great inspiration and part of the reason why Akira looks so good, because he was the colorist that worked on Akira. And I was like, yo, that's freaking awesome. And then just started walking up to random people. That content got enough traction, and I just started pushing that out to where all these conventions and everything like that, they started connecting. Next thing you know, I'm like connecting with actors and actresses that like I've seen on TV and like played games where they voiced the characters or anything like that. And it's like, shoot, man, that's pretty freaking awesome.
It's pretty nice, man. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome to kind of just see how just that stepping out and trying something different, you never know where that would take you. That's what I always tell everyone. I was like, if some
person like myself can find himself doing this, anyone can do it. Trust me, because I ain't no one special, man. It just kind of fell into it, just being that, I don't know. Like I said, it's like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a lot of luck, you know, in my opinion, a lot of luck. So
I get it, man. I get it. So then, so you say you're no one special, right? But we just talked about trying new things. Yeah. You got some things that you've tried, and we're familiar with Rippaverse around here. We got I've had plenty of the members of the Rippaverse and Rippasin, the publishing, on the show, and everybody loves to check out new projects and products that come through there. But you had your own. You had Achromatic Chronicles Green, which you did yourself, but then you did Blue.
No. Blue I did myself, and then Green was through Rippaverse. I'm backwards.
Yeah.
So Blue was the first.
I got you. So give me a little bit about that. And I know you have another project that we'll go into. I'd love to kind of get some, insight into that. But with Achromatic Chronicles Blue, you did a children's book. First off, why a children's book?
When I got back from working, I guess that's the right term, like out of the country, I got a job as a teacher. I got my degree was always in history, and I was looking to become a history teacher, like history high school teacher, something like that. But the in at least in the state of Florida, one of the processes to become a teacher, you got to put so many hours in as like a substitute. So there was like a second chance. Maybe that's all right. Yeah. Second chance school that needed a lot of help, and a lot of people didn't want to go there because I guess the students were a little more difficult to deal with at times.
Right. A lot of minorities.
And,
I got you.
And the pay was probably a little bit lower than regular. And so I substituted there for some time, and then they offered me the 5th grade teacher position. And so that wasn't really in the works, but it just kind of happened. So became the 5th grade teacher, did that for a few years, and the high school basketball coach. And I was at that time when the government started implementing stuff for the kids to read that were filled with crap that they shouldn't read. And there wasn't any stories for just like simple adventure stories where young people can use their imagination and stuff like that. So I was like, on my YouTube channel, I complained about it so much, like, oh, look what's happening. I was like, well, I'll put my money where my mouth is, and we'll create. I got a cool people around me now. I didn't at first. I will create a series of adventure stories, very simple. No, not breaking, not War and Peace or anything like that. Very simple adventure story of students living in a world without color, and they each discover a color, and a color takes them, and they discover their purpose and plan for the world that they live in. And now I have like a great group of people around me that we're finishing the project together. And there's 2 more books left in that series to complete it. And we're just going to finish the whole thing at once.
Okay.
And just drop it all at one time. So there'll be novelizations, also graphic novels, and some really, really cool surprises that I never thought I'd see myself in. Yeah. Really cool stuff. That's with that series. And so the team that I have now, everybody's working on their piece of the pie, to get it all done. And it'd be cool.
What I just thought about, which maybe this is, I know you're probably, if it is something that you guys are working on, I know you're not going to tell me now, but it'd be cool if, like, because I know with working with Rippaverse, and I know was it Epic Mike? I believe when I talked to him some time ago, Epicverse was talking about trying to do some work with Achromatic Chronicles. I know Chaz has some background in like children's content, not child's content, but children's content. Doing that, so he was trying to figure out a way. I just listened to a stream. I think yesterday he was talking about having a background doing a lot of puppet work, which I don't know how that will correlate. That would be interesting, but also doing like animation or something like that. I think you got enough resources. I get what I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I did spill the beans that there's an animation project in the works.
Okay, cool.
And the beautiful thing is that through the convention work, it's so weird. Like through the convention work, became very good friends with James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi,
right,
and several other voice actors,
Gabriel and the Guardians,
and like I presented this thing. I was like, wouldn't this be cool to be an animation? And like, there's so many people that are really loving the project that we should have something. We should have a teaser trailer for a movie next year.
Awesome.
Maybe I could be over speaking, but and it's not.
I'm gonna hold you to it. And if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna hold you.
I mean, right now, like people will be like, "Oh, it's Rippaverse animation." It's not. That's not with Rippaverse at all. So,
okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't want necessarily Rippaverse. I know they got the campaign going out right now. By the time this episode airs, it should still be going. They're doing their first ever crowdfund.
Oh, I think it's awesome, man. It's awesome what they do. I think that's the next step for them is animation studios.
100%.
But a lot of people, because of Rippaverse and everything, they just assume they're like, well,
everything is going to be attached to them.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's and it's. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but
I want Rippaverse. I want to see Rippaverse stuff animated. I want to see your stuff animated.
Yeah, this was something that had started before. This is something that started with Blue, Achromatic Chronicles Blue.
Okay.
So green is not even in the works. And then there was another pretty big animation studio that was very interested in, and they gave me some advice. They said to basically they said, come back when the whole thing is finished. They're like, we like the story, we like where it's going, we like what you're putting together, but we would love to see, before we proceed with anything, we'd love to see a completed story. I was like, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. So
so that way the full vision could already be realized.
Well, and you figure some movie studios, it's like if you wrote like some people could write 10 books, they'll take all 10 books and put it in one movie. It's like we don't need all that stuff in there to make a good movie. So it's like, I get it. So I totally understand like how that would work. So
I got you. So tell me when you're approaching, like, well, first off, before I get ahead of myself, tell the people kind of briefly, what is Achromatic Chronicles and what is that about?
It is a story about achromatic is like without color, void without color. And they a bunch of students live in a world and they don't understand what color is. They don't know what color. And so the first book, Blue, a boy named John, very simple, finds the color blue, and it takes him on an adventure. The next book is called Green, where a girl finds the color green and takes her on an adventure. And so now you're starting to learn about these two different worlds. Why was imagination and asking questions and trying to change the status quo suppressed in the world that they live in? And why are these colors trying to find these young people to be heroes and defeat, the evils that be in the story? So without giving away too many spoilers, that's just that's where we are.
Okay, got you. So tell me, when you're taking on a project like this, was this your first published piece of work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay, so tell me about it.
I did everything wrong. Well, I wrote the story. Achromatic Chronicles was originally one book, and every chapter was a different color. Right. So it was like, this is a story of blue, a story of green, story of the next colors, and so on. Oh, shit, and I sent it out to test readers. I sent it out to some test readers, and they were like, good concept. You definitely not a writer. I was like, I know. And they're like, get a good editor. Let's get a good editor. All right. That's a great idea. And then it was, do I need to get an attorney to copyright this stuff and all that stuff? And they're like, maybe you should. And so I spent money on things that I didn't know I had to spend money on. And then I got an editor and they edited it. And then I sent it back out. This was like 4 years in the works before Blue even, it was even like considered a graphic novel. Cause like I'd pick it up and work on it. And then you set it down, and then you pick it up and you work on it. Then you set it down. And so then several of the people that got it back, they said this would make a fun graphic novel, like seeing black and white, then turn to color, stuff like that. So then my mind was like, oh man, I didn't even want to go down that route at first, because then that brings in a whole bunch of challenges about like having to take what you have written and then script it for paneling. Right. I don't know the first thing about doing that. Again, like that's not, there are people out there that can write, that can panel, that can script, that can put it all together. Their talent is unbelievable. And I wish I had a percentage of something like that. And, so I'm learning all this brand new. So I went out and found help. I reached out to people. I was like, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And I found, I became good friends with a guy named Anthony. And he's a writer at the college that he works with. I was like, Anthony, can you help me out with this? He's like, man, I don't do stories like this, man. I'm like thesis writer, man. Like I do that kind of stuff. I was like, Anthony, man, can you help me out with this, please? And he's like, I'll take a look. And he took a look and he's like, dang, bro, you are terrible. Like your grammar is bad, dude. Like I was like, well, did I get all the words spelled right? I ran it through spell check, and so, yeah, we had several meetings where he's like, this part of the story should be here. And this part of this will make sense if this is over here. And he's like, I love what you're doing with this, but maybe. And so we just talked it out for months. And I'm like outlining this stuff. And I just said, Anthony, you just want to come on and like help me do this? Like, let's just do it together. So he was like, maybe, I don't know. Like it was like one of those things. Eventually, now Anthony is writing all the novelizations.
That's awesome.
And taking from the original work and that I butchered to death, and he's writing the novel, and I can't wait. He's fantastic. That's why his name's on all the books and everything. And he, and then we also have Eric, the guy who illustrated Green, who's also part of the team. And he's bringing his ideas. Like, we should change this a part of the story and change that and put this over here. And I love it. See, that's what I love. I love it.
Yeah, collaboration.
where people we'll get a random text. Oh, I have an idea about the ending. And then it's like, well, let's just put it in the group and then let's just get it on the phone and let's just do this. And so it's great. Yeah. It's great.
That teamwork and being able to collaborate on a project to make sure that it comes out in its full vision and get exactly what you want and kind of actually really beyond what you could have even considered it to be. That's how you know you got something really good there. Because then so many people, it gets the juices flowing, as they say. They start collaborating, they started working with it.
I had no idea what I was doing. I just felt like this was something I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed the process. The process is difficult. It's well, for me, it's difficult, it was difficult. And then learning so much from so many different people that have done it all themselves, that have done, right. And it's just like taking all that, and it's still the people that are able to do this by themselves and fund it. And man, it's like, I have such a high respect for those people that are doing that, because it's so much more than just, I got a book here, I'm going to mail it out to you. It's like, there's just so much going on behind the scenes that I kept calling Eric July, and it was like, bro, can you just take this book and ship it through? I don't know. And so he's like, I'm not ready for that yet. But then when Achromatic Chronicles Green was done, he's like, we're ready. Let's learn. Let's do this thing together and see how it turns out. And it was great, man. It was great.
Yeah, man.
And then I had the honor of him freaking asking me to write a character for Saints and Sinner. I was shocked.
Right.
So
being able to go now. So real quick, having you, what a lot of people don't know, and like you said, you were the one pushing Eric to even start Rippaverse in a way, because, you're like, hey, you're publishing books, you're pushing books out, trying to learn and trying to have him basically take it over. He kept saying, nah. Ultimately, and he credits you to it. He says, Jay's the reason why Rippaverse exists.
I know, I wish he'd stop doing that. All I did was bother him and bother him and bother him. I'm like, I don't want to do this, man.
But it's one of those wild things. You do it
for me. I'm lazy. No.
It's one of those wild things. You never know who you're inspiring.
Yeah.
Because you were able to do that. Yellow Flash was able to put his book out through Rippaverse. Who was it? Chad Larson was able to do his book through Rippaverse. We got Nerdrotic's book coming through Rippaverse. All these projects that's coming through. You got to give yourself some more credit, man. It's like Don himself.
Listen, it's not much credit. It's just, it was a constant. Pick up the freaking phone. All right, Eric, you don't want to answer the phone? Let me call Brandon. Brandon, hey, what's up? Oh, you bothering you at work? Well, here's what I need. Mm-hmm. And then I just kept going down the list till finally like, can we just shut Jay up and put his book out in this thing and get it done?
You never know. But you mentioned, you already said it already. You had your character in, you had the opportunity to write a story, part of Saints and Sinners, which was a book published by Rippaverse. And kind of a collaboration, various YouTubers getting there and streamers, getting their opportunity to write a story within this universe. And yours was, remind me what it was, Cross. Cameron Cross. Give the people a little bit about what that story was and what your inspiration was for that story.
So this was when I was asked over a year ago.
Okay.
I was like, are you sure, man? I don't want to mess up anything in your company. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. And so my original thought, and it was very smart on that. Maybe they did. I just don't remember. They didn't tell me I was going to be in a collab with Drinker and Az and all that. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be on a Rippazine.
Okay.
So they're like, just do 15 pages of a character that you design. He'll be brand new. So I'm like, I'd rather have a brand new character than screw up a character that everybody loves.
Right.
Like Rian Johnson did with Star Wars with Luke Skywalker. Exactly. I didn't want to be the Rian Johnson of the Rippaverse. So anyway, so I was like, all right. And I'm like, I'm going to learn to do this. It took a lot of work because I never have done this myself. So I wrote the thing and I was studying how to panel and all that stuff. And through a lot of failures and whatever, it's like I finally got the 15 pages that I wanted for a character that, not only that, with a new character, it was writing the, I don't know what you call, like, the Bible of that character. So it's like, this is how he became to be. This is who he is. This is his powers. This is what he can do. These are his struggles. This was his path. And it was like making sure I have all that. So I'm not like, you know, if this thing was good, like good enough to where he's like, we'll give you a whole book, that's shocking.
Right.
And, you know, I'll be ready with like this. So that was the first thing. Okay. Making sure it's like, and then it was like, I did everything done. I had everything done. I turned it in. I'm like, well, either they're going to like it or they're going to be like, this doesn't work in our universe, which is totally fine. Right. It's not, that's his sandbox. He let me and play a little bit. And if it's not what exactly he's looking for or anything like that, that's, hey, I totally get it.
Prerogative.
But they said, this is great. This is perfect. It's a green light. And I was like blown away. It was a kid's dream, man. It was like, you know, and so Saints and Sinners comes out and some people love it. Some people hate it. And some people, whatever. And it's just, that's what happens when you put stuff out on the internet.
100%, man. 100%. And that, when I saw that project and seeing the names attached to it and all that it was like, that's what one of those things that got me excited about it, because you can attach just random like YouTubers or whatever like that. Now, there are certain people within this sphere of the internet where if I found out you were putting out a book, I'd kind of laugh. Like if Beardo said he was putting out a book, I'd like, is it a coloring book?
Oh, man.
I'm messing. But like, I was
Beardo,
like, okay.
Beardo, I bet Beardo will surprise everybody.
I bet
he would surprise everybody.
Catching some of his streams and everything like that. But you know, he needed an editor, obviously. But don't we all? But
I'm first to admit, yeah.
But one of the things is like when I saw your name attached to it as Drinker Mauler, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, now I've watched enough of these people's content to know that they have a passion for great storytelling. I don't know their talent for actual storytelling. Like, what is it? Critical Drinker. I did watch his short film. It was a solid short film. There was a few things that I was like, oh, this seems like an interesting choice. But when you're taking something from a novel and adapting it live action, we always see, because there are always elements that change, right? Everything always change. But I love watching people's attempts, and I love watching people kind of step out and try something new. And I hope that he continues doing that, because I'm a fan of that. I got the Nathan Drake series kind of in my Amazon cart right now, ready to kind of just pull the trigger when I can get a complete addition to it. I also need more what's it called? More time to do more reading and all that kind of stuff. I got to let the kids and the wife just alone and just tell them, hey, let me do my reading when I need to do it. But that type of thing for me, and I had this conversation with who was it? Who was I having this conversation with? Oh shoot, I'm blanking on the person's name. Oh man. But I was talking with somebody, and they were talking about how on the front end of it. Oh no, I was having a conversation with Andrew Rodriguez. Rodriguez, you know, part of the Rippaverse team, and he was talking about how looking at that project when you first start off, it is one of those things where, yeah, it looks like you just got a bunch of your YouTuber friends or whatever like that to put like, hey, you want to come on to the project and all that kind of stuff. You got enough of a following. We can really do this thing. But then those stories that were told in that everybody gave it their all, and everybody gave something special in these stories. And I'm like, dude, I hope to get a full, like, what is it? Cameron Cross. I want a Cameron Cross number one.
I was like, when I finally was told, like, hey, you're going to be in it, I'm like, what? Don't put my story in with these people.
Right.
Are you crazy? Put it in a Ripazine, like, tuck it in the back.
And it has to feel awesome.
I don't want to be messing with you. Like, what the heck, man?
When you're part of the biggest selling graphic novel for the Rippaverse for the year, and knowing the numbers that they put out for the year is like, yo, that's awesome. That's an awesome thing to do.
It was cool. It was cool to see. Yeah, it was cool to see.
And then you also get to go, and now you got your own project, which you're going to do, represent, which is Daughter's Revenge. And that's where you get to lean into your pirate, your pirate fantasies and everything like that, right? Give us a little insight as to what Daughter's Revenge is real quick. And kind of when can we expect that?
So a lot of people might not know this, but me and my good friend, Ross, who is also, they call him X-Wing Online. We run a YouTube channel called History of Pirates, where we made videos of like pirate history. I love pirate history. Telling the exaggerated tales of people that sailed the high seas, It's just it's like, I read some of these historical, their history as far as the victor wrote them, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, these things are better than the movies that they're putting out. And so it's just a lot of fun. And I went and saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. When did that come out? Like 2 years ago? 2 years ago, right? Indiana Jones is one of my all-time favorite cinematic people. That I love Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. That movie came out and I was so like, it was so bad. Like it just, you sit in the theater like, did they really do this to this character?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Did they really, really do this to this character? So the next day, I called Ross and I was like, what if we made an Indiana Jones character? I'm so sick of these people. What if we just do our own character and just have fun with it? We could tell the stories and upload it on the YouTube channel. It'd be like something different. Like if this is a fictional story or whatever. And like, what if we made Indiana Jones a pirate? Right? That he goes out and he's got to go look for stuff and all that. So it started with a phone call, and it turned into what it is now. Like this, and I can't believe that it's a graphic novel that's going to be released in January. I can't believe the artist that did Achromatic Chronicles Green, his name is Eric Hodson. It's just, he's a brother to me. Like we talk on the phone all the time about Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff. And, and I'm like, you want to do this book? You want to do this pirate book? Yeah, let's do it. And it's like, so then the three of us got together and we all just, it just was one of those things. It just came together and I'm like, we'll throw it out to the History of Pirate fan base, and they seem to be excited over there, and we'll just see where it goes. And I think for us, the best part was like the journey to get here, where the book is released. And if it does well, great, we'll do another one. If it doesn't do well, then I still think the journey that we had, the three of us, just talking on the phone and laughing and just like making this story, that was inspired by a horrible Indiana Jones film.
Hey, maybe we should be grateful for what Disney has done to a lot of our IPs.
Man, I'm telling you,
because it's inspired so many to create so many alternatives. If they were doing everything right, then some people were like, "Hey, we already have something great. We don't need this. Now we get to enjoy a whole new story by a whole new mind." With
definitely not a kid's book. It's definitely not a kid's book.
Definitely not a kid's book. Okay, I get you. I love it, man. I love it, man. Yeah. So with that being said, like going from Achromatic Chronicles Green and doing your Cameron Cross story and all these kind of stuff, big into storytelling and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I absolutely just as we were talking about Disney and, Warner and all these companies, and as media has gone on these days, they have a tendency to take these stories and IPs that we love and these inspirations that we've had. You already mentioned Star Wars is not a thing that you even look forward to now, right? You changed your channel. Drunk 3PO's channel used to be all about Star Wars, and now it's about Transformers.
Yeah, I know.
It is like, hey, man, I liked it. I got to say, when you switch to Transformers, I watch more of your content because I'm more a Transformers fan than a Star Wars fan. It is. I love it. But with that being said, it's like when you have all of these things going on, is there anything that you could think of that Well, I guess I don't even know if I would have asked that question because I don't even think I even want to. But I was about to say, is there anything that these companies like Disney can do to change what they've done with Star Wars to make you come back? To make you come back. But I also don't know if I even want you to come back.
I honestly don't think. So for me personally, I could be greedy here. If they wanted me to come back, I think they would just pause everything and go into their local library to the expanded universe of Star Wars that they've kind of discredited, even though they kind of steal from, and just close their eyes and point at a book series and do that. The script is already written. The story's already there. Don't change it for a modern audience. Don't do anything. The stories are there. There's a lot of great stories.
There are.
Disney's biggest problem is they try to, like for the Star Cruiser, they that hotel, the Halcyon Star Wars hotel that failed in less than a year, and everybody called it that it was going to fail because nobody wanted to spend $7,000-$8,000 to spend the night in a Star Wars hotel that wasn't even really Star Warsy, right?
Yeah.
And so to make that hotel relevant, they changed the stories of Han and Leia's wedding and all that stuff. They tried to make Galaxy's Edge relevant. Galaxy's Edge is called Batu, not mentioned anywhere in the Star Wars universe. They just invented it.
Made it up.
And they had to write books and stories around this place to try to make it relevant. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
There's already great stories already written. You didn't have to change it to fit your narrative and your position. So if they just paused it and just started over and just maybe even acted like everything that they've done so far, that's over there and we'll just keep it over there. But here's what we're going to do moving forward. I always said they needed to go like 100 million years in the future or 100 million years in the past.
Yeah.
And stay out of Skywalker. Anything that even comes close to Skywalker, like Yoda, whatever, anything that's in the Skywalker saga, just stay away and start something over and go that route. That's what they should have done, in my opinion. Same thing with Marvel. Marvel should have closed the book on Endgame and started. Yeah. I wanted them to go Fantastic Four for 10 years. They could have done Fantastic Four universe and done the different heroes in that universe and it might not have been as popular as the Avengers, but I think it would have, like now, look what they're doing now. They're like, hey, you guys all want to come back again? We need to make money here.
Hey
nobody's watching.
Yeah.
So with all Chris,
that,
I mean, I just think it's, they got to get rid of the activists that are in their studios. And I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
And, cause look, if they had made like spend the night in the Death Star, and they set it up like the Death Star, or they made like a Jabba's palace, or they made something like that, like something that people understand what Star Wars is. Like they made something that was brand new that no one's ever heard of before. And they're like, oh, you'll love it because Han Solo was here and Luke Skywalker visited this place. And you're like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Make something from the movies that we know that we want to go see. Like, it's not that difficult. I don't get it.
It's not. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. These stories are already told.
Exactly. We want those stories. We know these stories by heart. Put it on the big screen so we can see it and be like, that's freaking awesome.
That's like when James Gunn says things like Batman is boring, right?
Oh, man.
And he says, if he says things like Batman is boring, you're sitting there like, do you even read? Do you even know the character that you're trying to? He's like, all these stories has already been told. How in the world could you even utter those words? And that's why nobody has faith in your universe. It's not like Superman didn't turn off enough people. Some people left with a glimmer of hope, or maybe they were like, well, it wasn't all bad. It had mixed reviews and all that kind of stuff. But then when I think about you doing Batman, like, man, keep your grummy, slimy hands off of
man.
It's like,
and then like I hope they had just announced that they're going to do the Transformers animation series, and like from the comic book series, and I'm like, listen to me very carefully. You don't change anything.
Wait, they're going to do that one animated?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And they're going to use the writer. The writer's going to come on board to help with it, and I'm like, just keep it the same. That's all you got to do. Like, don't change it, man. Like, that's the show. The show is the comic book that you wrote with the robots walking around. That's it. That's all you 100%. Gotta do.
If you wanted to adapt something and it had a large following and you said, hey, we're going to adapt this, but we're going to stay true to the comics. We're going to stay true to the original story. That audience that already exists, they're going to be excited about it. It doesn't matter if they already know the story. Nobody says, oh, I already know Batman's story. I don't need to go see this again.
Nobody says that crap.
Nobody says that.
We want to see it. Exactly. And we want to see it again. And I want to see it 3 times. And that's why people go back and watch these movies over and over and over again, because they love it.
It's like, man,
that's like saying, I already know the story of Jesus, okay? I'm not celebrating Christmas this year, all right?
Right. It's like, hey, didn't we do that last year? Tell me something new.
I know.
It's like, what?
Something new.
It's like, what blasphemy
Tell me something new.
are you telling me? It's like, it's absolutely insane. It's disrespectful to the audience and the original IP. And these people, they become so egotistical and they get so wrapped up in their heads that they have these bright ideas. James Gunn wants to James Gunn all over everything. Yeah. It's unsanitary. It's like, nah, bro, back away. Leave somebody. It's like, okay, if you're in the position of being the head of the DCU, let the other writers and everybody else do what they need to do, man. Let them do their thing.
It's just that simple.
But you can't do that. Can't get out of his own way. Yeah. And it's going to fail because you can't get out of your own way. And sometimes you just got to know when to, like, hey, I might have had an idea, but I may not be the person to execute that. You learned that yourself. You had the idea for Acrobatic Chronicles Green. You said it was going to be a book with all the various chapters, but you used the collaborative efforts of team and the people that you trusted around you to not put yourself in your own way and say, no, I want it done this way. And it's like, nah, bro. Nah, that's not it. Oh, man, it hurt me today when I heard James Gunn say that Batman was boring, and I'm trying to not be disingenuous and say, like, he said the character himself is boring. He said that the way, because the stories that are told and because there's so many of these stories told already, that's why it's become boring, because it's an oversaturation. And how do you get new people introduced to that? But the thing is, what do we have? Like maybe 8 Batman films that exist in the world. A lot of people, like, you have some that are highly regarded, some of them that people just don't talk about, but you have years and decades.
There's tons of stuff you could pull from if you wanted to tell.
And it's like, okay, all right, man, we'll see what you do. I have zero faith, and Supergirl doesn't give me any more. When I refer back to the CW, because I'm like, that actually, Supergirl, that I may have treated you too harshly, because this over here looks like hot garbage. I'm like, dude, why? But then we got characters that come from the Rippaverse. We got Yaira over here. We got Blood Ruth and all the characters from the Rippaverse. We got your stories, and we got Daughter's Revenge coming and everything. So it's like, hey, it gives us some hope to look for things, and that's what I like. That's what I like. I like the fact that we get to look at independence now and kind of look at that spark and have these conversations and do all this stuff, man.
I'm with you.
So with that being said, Jay, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you joining me today.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
Why didn't you
invite me on sooner? What's wrong with you?
Oh, yes, sure. Like, I haven't been trying to do this for months.
I just got a message today. Like, here's a link. You want to hop on?
Before you leave, before I let you head out, give the people, first off, where they could find you, and a little bit of an advice, kind of what you would want people to take away from this today.
Oh, sure. I go live every single morning on the Welcome to the Rebellion podcast YouTube channel. We just go over the morning. We go over the morning news and let's talk about a little bit about politics, a little entertainment, a little whatever. And then, like you said, the Drunk 3PO channel has turned into a comics book chat. I just go over Transformers and G.I. Joes. You'll see some Rippaverse videos coming up really soon. Those are in the works as well. Like if I can get through the holidays, and a lot of times you'll see me on Geeks and Gamers. But if I were to take away like any type of advice, I think people need to understand that you got the advice that was told to me is never, ever make the lies that someone told you truth in your own heart. And what I mean by that is we all have these dreams and passions like, oh, I'd love to write a book, or I'd love to do this, or I'd love to do that. And there's always someone in your corner that tells you you're no good, you stink, you suck. Like, why? They laugh at you, they point fingers at you. And a lot of times we take that negative energy and turn that lie into a truth, because I do believe everybody was here born with a purpose. And there's a reason why passions are put into our lives, you know, it's just to make the world a little bit better, you know. And so just don't sit and wait. Go out and do it, because you just never know. You never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. You never know who, who wants to see you succeed. You never know who's in your corner. You just got to go out there, take a first step closer to your dreams and goals, and know that you got a passion and a purpose in this life, and drown out the noise that's trying to suppress that. There's you're always going to find people that hate what you do, that hate you, that hate whatever, that will trash and criticize you. There are plenty of those out there. But just remember, like, there's also a lot of wonderful people that want to see you succeed and do a lot of great things. So, yeah, awesome, man, awesome. I agree with that 100%. You can't let the haters and the people that look down, because a lot of times people just are stifled by their own shortcomings, and they project that over to you. They say you can't do this, you can't do that, and all that kind of stuff. It's because they're short-sighted. They can't see it, can't see the vision. But it is what it is, man. That's why we got to be great. Well, thank you, Jay. Be great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Man.
Thank you so much, man. This was so much fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode. Awesome, man. All right. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of the Icon Presents podcast. It was so great having Jay on the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to Jay Drunk 3PO. Be sure to keep an eye out for Daughter's Revenge coming January. It's going to be so much fun. You got kids, you want stories for them. Achromatic Chronicles Green is still available through Rippaverse. Check that out. We're going to love watching your journey and everything that we got going on. It's so much fun. Check out Icon Presents Podcast for more updates, behind the scenes looks, blog posts, and everything. Thank you so much. Y'all take care.